Here goes another little push-pull deal. This is sort of a low voltage coil I made a while ago. Right now I've got it about 14.5 volts, and this is basically going to be running, pretty close to continuous wave. Right now it's just pulsing high speed. Got this coil right here. You can see it's not really that far away. I could move it away a little further, but it's just to get a little bit more current out of it. Coil right here is fairly similar to that one. I've had to modify it a little bit to get them sort of close. It's got a primary on it. Primary tuning up and down to find a spot where I get some good transfer. Primary leads right here are coming out. They're hooked to this bulb load here. So I've got a couple 40 watt, 120 volt bulb. Bottom of the secondary over here is just coming down, clipped onto this table right here. I don't actually have to connect this ground to the same ground as this one because that's grounded. I just need sort of like a RF ground. That's basically all that is. If I cut this one on, so you can see that bulb already comes on. They're sort of tuned. If I take the, if I touch that, it gets a little brighter. So that would actually probably get brighter if I did hook it to the same ground. But we're just going to totally isolate them in this case, just because for the sake of, wireless energy. So if I take that off, I still get a little voltage there. But see, I have to hook it back up like the bulbs. When I hook that back up, get this one bulb on, put that other one in. So it's actually, draws quite a bit, pulling a little over 5 amps. If I bring my hand in to sort of tune it around, then see what happens is, right now it's sitting at about a little over 5 unloaded, or about the loading that it is now without me tuning it. Then as I move my hand close to the receiver to get it about tuned where I get the maximum light, then it seems to almost level back out around at that 5 amps, depending on how I tune it. So again, I'm just sort of moving my hand here. See, I got high voltage coming across the winding here, and I've also got the current lighting those bulbs, so that's kind of cool. So if I take my hand, do some more tuning there. Just do one. So again, that's not perfect tuning. Then I actually turn it up all the way to full continuous wave, get it a little bit brighter if I tune it. It's real hard to get it perfectly in tune. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Again, that's not a crazy distance, but 5 amps, about 12 volts. It's not terribly efficient, but I'd say I can get that bulb at a brightness to where at that power, I'd say it gets pretty close to like 75% or so. But that's just with a random primary tuning there. And again, this is just happens to be a little push-pull coil I have that works pretty good, continuous wave. So I've got a little fan set up here that'll just sort of kick on every now and then if it starts to warm up and it doesn't really bring the sink into getting hot. And I've got leave a couple 250s on there, clone 250. That's not bad. And likewise, I can try to use the interrupter and just crank the voltage up. So that right there, put it at about 24 volts. See what it's doing. Wants to sort of start arcing. Ooh, that coil. But it's kind of cool how that works. and crank the frequency up. And the duty cycle, do the wireless PWM through resonant transfer that way. Drill battery's about to die on supply, but sort of a pulse like that. So again, not very impressive because of the distance, but with some pretty fine tuning. I actually had that coil sitting over here, and I had the bulb going. It took a little finer tuning and higher voltage, but it still worked. And again, the power, running continuous wave off that coil right there, with the bulbs loaded, so you can see the sort of light reflection. With the bulbs loaded up to about max. Say it's about 5 amps. So yeah, looking at like 60 watts just to do that. But I can get a 40 watt bulb pretty close to full bright, and that thing is real hot. So it turns out it actually went a little better than I thought, because I keep forgetting these bulbs aren't identical. This one that actually ran was a 60 watter. So it's this other clear looking bulb that's actually the 40 watter. Where's that? Well, now I feel like I'm in the damn twilight zone, because none of these bulbs actually have a rating on it. It just says 120 on it, and could have sworn these bulbs were 40 watters, like little bathroom vanity bulbs. But scouring the bulb now, I don't see any markings on them whatsoever. But at least I know this one's a 60 watter. So yeah, that wasn't 40 watts, that was 60 watts. So I don't know, that's not bad. It proves it a little bit.